So I hate skating in Converse. I broke my ankle in Louis Lopez's. I pulled my hamstring last year in Chucks, but they do look sick and I want to like them so bad. I feel like you just look so good skating in Converse. This Converse dropped and I thought, did Converse literally steal our Bloodcore leather idea? It's like the one-to-one knockoff of our black to red Bloodcore leather. It's kind of made to be destroyed. It follows all the same like ethos as what our leather does. We're gonna figure out a couple things. Did they steal Bloodcore? Why did this shoe almost not get released? And why is it the best Converse for skating? This is actually the first video with viewer submitted clips and questions in it. So if you want to get your clips/questions in, sign up for the skate testing pool and let me know what shoes you skate. So shout out to Jeff Fadness and Aidan Stark for the help. But while you probably know, this is an 80s basketball shoe. The history might surprise you. In 1910, Converse starts making sneakers with a fabric upper, but they aren't super popular with the public until in 1920, Converse starts making basketball specific footwear and names it the All-Star. And in 1921, semi-pro basketball player Charles Chuck Taylor started working as a salesman at Converse and suggested some improvements on the All-Star, for which the shoe gets renamed the Chuck Taylor All-Star. So that's how Converse started. But if you skip to the 80s where Converse was the dominant player in basketball shoes, in 1983 Converse released the Fastbreak, a lightweight basketball shoe made out of nylon and leather. It was much lighter than a lot of the other shoes on the market at the time. It gave an edge to the fast-paced players. But surprisingly, it was made popular by none other than Michael Jordan. So Michael Jordan was wearing the Fastbreak before he signed with Nike during the 1984 UNC NCAA tournament, and most notably when he won the gold medal at the 1984 Olympics. A Jordan-signed, game-worn pair of Fastbreaks actually auctioned for about $190,000. After that sale, Converse re-released the Fastbreak, but after the 80s and 90s, Converse sales started to decline steadily, and in 2001, Converse filed for bankruptcy. Then, in 2003, Nike bought Converse for $300 million. So now Converse is like Jordan. They're kind of owned by Nike, but they're also kind of their own separate brands. Not 100% sure on how it works, but Nike is definitely at the helm. I think they share footwear technologies and like resources, etc. Skip to 2022 when the world was gripped by 1980s basketball shoes fever. It was kind of fueled by like Nike Dunks were having their huge surge. The Amy Leon Dore New Balances like the 550 and 650 just like had a stranglehold on the market. So in 2022, Converse released a skating version of their 1980s basketball shoe, the Fastbreak, and named it the Fastbreak Pro. I've talked to a few skate shops and they say since its release, it has been a pretty big seller, but this one is a little bit different. So this shoe, the brand is Converse Cons, which is Converse like skating side. And the style is the Remy Tavira Fastbreak Pro. Remy is a French pro skater, super sick, excellent style and taste. It weighs 15.1 ounces. It's $90. The normal models of this range from like 80 to 95, kind of depending on if it has mesh or not, if it's a collab. And it's made in Vietnam. And the positioning of this says, based in Paris, France, Converse Cons team rider Remy Tavira embodies a disciplined approach to skateboarding where a critical eye and emphasis on movement are the key ingredients to style. There's a couple personalized things on this shoe, like his name and a snake symbol embossed on the back, and I believe the photography on the insole is his photography. So if you want these shoes, check them out from our links below. Sometimes we make money, sometimes we don't. Now to the c'est la partie la plus remarquable de tous les chaussures. Sorry, I mean, this is the coolest part of the actual shoe, the leather. And I have three big questions, really. One, did Converse steal our Bloodcore leather idea? That's the big question. Two, how hard is it to actually change the color of this? And three, will this unique leather actually last when you're skating? If you look closely, we'll start to compare this to our Bloodcore leather and this leather. Our Bloodcore leather is dyed on the grain and the rough outside, and it's red in the middle. It's kind of sandwiched in between. You know, you got the super nice grain, the super durable rough out, then you get the red. It takes a long time to get to it. We're super inspired by like the T-Core style leathers, like Dr. Martin's rub-off leather. But this leather, it's just like a painted leather, like it's just a finish on top. It's all red all the way through and kind of like a plasticky coating on top. Bloodcore comes in at 2.5 millimeters, and this Converse only measures in at 1.5 millimeters, which is pretty average for like sneakers and skate shoes. Our Bloodcore leather is obviously super durable and meant for like the toughest things ever. So how hard is it to actually get this coating off? Super easy, like one ollie and you're right to red. It's nice because skate shoes go through so fast. If you're using actual Bloodcore on this, you'd probably blow through your outsole before you actually get to the leather patina, because Bloodcore is super durable and this is meant to show the colors pretty immediately. But that makes me worried that this leather would be shot super fast, because if it's already going through in one ollie, it kind of freaks me out. But there's no greater durability test than skating. That will really put your feet to the fire. So after 3 weeks of skating, you can see it's just barely started to go through on the toe, actually busted out. I was gonna do 50 kickflips this morning, but then I got to like 35 and broke my board, so called it an even 35 just to test. Barely going through a little bit right there. It hasn't gone through over here yet, but you can kind of feel it's getting pretty thin and it's probably about to go go through. But honestly, it held up pretty decently for a skate shoe. I mean, our Bloodcore leather is obviously meant for like firefighters and super tough, and it will last forever. So making a Bloodcore skate shoe would actually be really cool because it would last forever. So if we go to the upper, the whole pros and cons of skating the Fastbreak Pro upper. The fit is a huge plus. So it fits way better than any other Converse I've ever skated, or worn for that fact. Chucks are so pointy. I sized down like 1.5 to 2 sizes, and they are still have too much room and are way too pointy in the toes. This shoe actually fits like a normal shoe, which makes it super comfortable. The leather did hold up quite well, about average for skate shoe leather, but it won't be nearly as durable as Bloodcore, but it really breaks into the shape of your foot. It's almost like a leather sock. I was pretty bummed out that I have to cut this because it's like the perfect amount of broken in right now, or it just like is molded to my foot. But if we go to the cons of this upper, the tongue has a bunch of pinch points on it when laced up, especially with the hiking laces that this one came with. It does kind of give me blisters. It's mostly like right here, this part of the shoe on my big toe. It was just like rubbing a lot against my foot. It's also really hot. My feet got really sweaty in this. I'm not trying to get trench foot because if your feet are too wet and hot for too long, they start to rot off. We've seen it in like all the World War II and like Vietnam videos. Horrifying. That's because it has a fake leather and textile lining, and they're not as breathable as real leather, so you're gonna get pretty hot wearing these. Aidan, one of the skate pool test guys, also said the mesh pair they skated got pretty shredded pretty fast. Heads up for that one as well. They didn't skate the mesh, but you know, anytime there's mesh and synthetic textiles on skate shoes, you gotta be a little wary of them. So did Converse steal our leather? No. I mean, it's a super similar idea, but executed completely different. We're like at two ends of the spectrum, where Bloodcore is one of the most durable leathers ever made, and like you really gotta work to get to the red, and the Converse leather is meant to be skated through fast so you can see the red really quickly, because skate shoes, at the end of the day, they don't last, which sucks. But you know, I like the way that Converse executed this style of leather. It's just not gonna be as durable. If you wanna actually try out some Bloodcore leather, we have a whole variety of products. Belts are super sick. We make all of our wallets. You can just get like big panels of Bloodcore, kind of try it out, make your own products. It's really cool. It's probably one of our most popular things that we've ever made. Also, we're re-releasing 3 of our most popular shoes in Bloodcore this weekend. So we got the ND1 in Bloodcore, the Smugs in Bloodcore, and the White Drifter 3s in Bloodcore. They're pretty pricey, but they're gonna last you literally for your entire life. And people are gonna be like, oh, what boots are those? Be like, oh, I bought these 25 years ago from this company named Anvil because they still look good. So go check all those out. We'll put all the links down below just in case. But why did this shoe almost not release? I had purchased a pair of these back in February. I had them in my hands. I was ready to start skating them, but then I had to return them because of recall. I had to do some sleuthing about why they got recalled, because every skate shop I talked to rightfully did not want to talk about it. I understand why they wouldn't. But allegedly, I found out that the outsole was falling off, which is a pretty important part of the shoe that really needs to stay on. But if you look on the inside, I was trying to figure out how it was falling off, and you can see it has a real cupsole stitch on the inside. I assume it's a cupsole stitch and glued. So one of those must have been failing to do a whole recall/pause. My guess is that the glue is failing, so when you bust through the stitching on the ollies and flips, the sole would just be flapping open like that. That's not confirmed, it's just my educated hunch. This outsole is super unique because it uses clear rubber on the bottom. You can shine a light through the bottom of the outsole and just see the columned egg crate outsole in there. So it'll definitely feel a lot less cushion than a shoe with any foam midsole, but it does give you a lot more board feel than a lot of cupsoles I've skated, but you just won't have as much protection, especially when landing primo. But what it does have that's really cool, it has this lip that comes up around the toe. I think this is on a couple different Converse. I think it's on the AS1 as well, but the lip makes the flick tremendous. Like the flick was so nice and easy, it just rolls kick flips off of. It felt super good. But after 3 weeks of skating, and sometimes I was intentionally like dragging my feet, seeing if I could bust the Converse outsole issue. No dice, no outsole issues at all. It barely even wore through, so good catch by Converse, I guess. I was pretty bummed that I couldn't skate them back in February, but you know, if you're skating a shoe and your outsole starts to come off, are you ever gonna trust that company again? So let's cut this in half, see what else they're kind of hiding on the inside, and we'll finally answer all of the rest of the questions that I have about this shoe. Alright, so I got to cut in half. Make sure you subscribe, comment, watch these videos a bunch. If they don't get views, we stop making them, and we spend like $1,000, seems like, every week on cutting shoes in half. So make sure to subscribe. That's the best way to support us. Go check out our Bloodcore products. Links below, of course. Alright, let's see what's inside. You can see that like you get 2 layers right here. The toe cap layer does go all the way down to the outsole, but the actual toe layer stops right there. So the shoe's kind of held together by the toe cap. It's like you kind of get 2 layers. It'll be better than having just the 1 layer. So it's like a semi double layer. So it's good to see, but it could be a little bit better. And you can see how thin the outsole is, which gives you tons of board feel for a cupsole, but definitely not as much protection at all. So is it worth $80 to $90? This one specifically 90, the other ones are 80. I think this is about as cheap as you can get a cupsole for these days. I would say yes, this shoe is worth the $90, especially to support a pro and a really cool colorway. It's definitely not just like a different color, it's a whole new leather. I think it's so simple that it can also be a solid palette for collabs and easy colorways with anybody. It's just like, you're not breaking the bank to give a pro a colorway on this shoe. So if I had to rank it on my confidence ranking, we'll put the confidence chart up here. 1 being I can't skate in the shoe at all, 10 being I feel confident in doing absolutely anything, 5 being totally average. I'd probably rate these about a 7. I felt pretty good doing everything, not 100%. I felt a little sketchy on my ollie height, and I just felt a lot better in other shoes, but like, it's pretty good. It's a pretty solid shoe. It's like a workhorse style shoe. No frills, we'll get the job done. Check out the chart up here. We'll put it up here somewhere so you can like get a vibe off of where every other shoe is. But I honestly think that this is the best skate Converse so far. I mean, I haven't skated the Louis Lopez 2s. I know the AS ones, people like it, just looks like a Dunk knockoff to me. But I would definitely cop these over a pair of Chuck Taylors any day of the week. So shout out Converse, these are actually pretty sick. So even though they didn't actually steal our idea, we're big fans of like rub off leather and different colored leathers and crazy stuff like this. I'm glad Converse actually was like able to let Remy do something really cool with his pro colorway instead of just like, yeah, it's, you know, blue, it's red. It's like, this is actually something really interesting. So shout out to Remy for the cool blood core like colorway. Also shout out to Matt Price, the photographer that took the crazy marketing pictures of these. Super cool. This is like half the reason I bought this shoe. Let me know what you think about these shoes. Sign up for the skate testing pool below to like get your clips in the video like these other guys did. Let me know what else you want to see, what we should cut. Should we do some more like non-skating versus skating versions? I don't know. Comment below everything you want to see and watch this video, because if it doesn't get views, we're gonna stop doing skate stuff. That's kind of how it works. So, all right, I'm out of here. Peace.